What's up guys, I'm randomfrankp, and today we're going to be checking out the highly requested Ducky One 2 Mini RGB Keyboard. Bit of a strange name there. This has had a ton of requests for me to check out. Got my hands on it, and as you can see, fully decked them out and customized it. So I'm going to tell you guys about my experience with it, the pros and cons, all that good stuff, in case you want to check out the Ducky One 2 Mini. So first up, Ducky's a pretty well-known company. I'm sure you've heard of them by now. They put out tons of keyboards in the past, and they're definitely well respected amongst the keyboard community. I, for one, am a big fan of 60% keyboards because it keeps down the desktop clutter, leaves a smaller footprint. So when I saw this one was released, wanted to check it out, and it got from Taiwan to my door in just 5 days, so I was pretty psyched about that. When you start to unbox it and you lay your eyes on it for the first time, you'll see it does look rather different. The frame of the board itself looks very thin and it's dual tone with black and white, but we'll check it out in a minute. Inside the box, they include a few key things. First is the manual, and trust me, you don't want to lose this. Next is the USB Type-C cable and a keycap puller. You get a set of different colored keycaps and a year of the dog spacebar. And they said that every board will come with a different random color keycap set from blue, red, yellow, and green. I somehow got purple, so they definitely weren't kidding when they said random keycap set. But I'm not complaining here. I'm gonna customize it anyways. So checking it out, the black and white frame on it does look really sleek. It kind of dips in on the bottom, making the left and right side kind of stand out more and have more of like an angular look, which I just think looks really nice here. And with the white part of the board being glossy, it does kind of make it stand out more, but though good thing it's on the bottom, so that way all the fingerprints and stuff and smudges will remain unseen. And even though they include the purple accent keycap set here, you already know before I even got this in, I wanted to switch it up, so I bought my own custom keycap set. They're like this nice midnight green color, big fan of it. Now it's more my style, I'd say. So now that I have it customized, my only question is, do I keep it black and green or white and green? Let me know what you guys think down below. On the back side is their Ducky One 2 Mini branding. It does take up about 1/4 of the back, but again, it's on the back side, not a big deal, you're barely gonna see it. Then on the left side of the board is your USB Type-C port. Of course, you already know, got my own custom cable as well. It's this custom detachable 6-pin mini PS2 cable that I got from Massdrop. It's in this teal color with the black nylon cover. It looks awesome and it matches the keycap set perfectly. Then on the bottom of the board, you have 4 rubber strips to prevent it from sliding around on your desktop. And you actually have 2 feet. These flip out for 2 different angles of elevation, and this is something you rarely ever see on 60% keyboards, let alone having 2. Then on the back, you'll also see the cutout for the dip switch, which is gonna let you pretty much rearrange where you have your function key, the window key, and stuff like that. It explains the layout configuration in the manual. So moving on, this keyboard also features N-key rollover, which means you can press as many keys as you want at the same time, and they'll all register, making it a great gaming keyboard. Although you don't have to use it for gaming, obviously, that's kind of like just more of a marketing term. But I've been using it and had no complaints at all. Now we can talk about the caps and the switches. So the ones that actually use stock on the keyboard are laser engraved double shot PBT keycaps. The RGB still shines with the keycaps nicely, and we also have some printing on the front side of the key since, you know, it's a 60% keyboard. A lot of the functions and stuff are left out since there's less keys, so they're printed there so you can see what keys you're going to be accessing. But when you pop off a keycap, you will see here we have cherry red switches online for this keyboard. They have a few different ones you can pick from cherry. Red, blue, brown, speed switches, and I think even silent switches are available, but I'm content with reds here. You'll see the RGB light is embedded right above the actual switch, and that's all on this nice white backplate to kind of, you know, enhance and accentuate the RGB lighting, but we'll check that stuff out in a minute. And the moment you've all been waiting for, we'll do a sound test with these cherry red switches. You're probably able to tell just from that sound test, but this is incredibly satisfying to type on. I don't know if it's improved stems or stabilizers, but there is practically no rattle or jitter that you typically hear when you type on the spacebar or the back or enter key. It could sound pretty harsh if it's poorly made, but here it sounds great. Next up, we'll run through the RGB lighting and the effects and stuff like that so you can see what it's capable of. And warning, it's kind of difficult. So like I said before, definitely resort to that manual. Alright, so when it's powered on, obviously you're going to have the rainbow wave as the default effect. It's very popular, everyone knows this. And how you change it is by pressing Function, Alt, and T. That's going to cycle your modes. It has like the color cycle mode, but it'll just, go through the spectrum. A raindrop mode, which is also known as like Starlight on other keyboards. Ripple, so when you press a key, it'll send a ripple of lighting out. A random reactive mode for when you press on a key, it'll kind of pulse that color for a bit. And then in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th mode, these are the only ones that actually give you the option to change up the lighting. So for the 6th mode, the reactive mode, you can change what color you want it to be. Same with the breathing mode. The 8th mode is going to be a 100% backlit mode, so you can pick whatever sort of static color you like. And then the 9th mode is called radar. And how you change up what kind of color you want it to be is by pressing a Function, Alt, Z, X, and C. That'll give you full control of the RGB color waves. You can go through and precisely pick what kind of color you want, but that's kind of annoying. If you just press Function, Alt, and Spacebar, that'll give you the full color palette on your keys. You can just pick whatever key or color you want it to be, and then it'll change from there. That's definitely much easier. For people who like the white LED backlighting, when you're in the color palette mode, the backspace will give you the whitest color they offer, and it's still not a pure white. It does have that pinkish tint, unfortunately. I have seen worse though. So pretty standard stuff, but for example, I don't know how to change like the raindrop mode to be a certain color. I don't know if you even can because only certain modes are able to be customized, but it's just kind of confusing. I personally like keeping it on the single backlit mode to kind of match the color themes. I'm a big Eagles fan, so that kind of like midnight green and black looks pretty good. Then while we're here, we can talk about recording macros. And on your keyboard, you have 6 different profiles you can toggle between, with one being your default layout, and you can't record any macros on that first mode. So it has to be either profile 2 through 6. And how you record it is you hold down Function, Alt, and Tab for 3 seconds. It'll then blink to let you know that you can start recording. And there you can just press any key you want to set as a macro. So we'll say, I don't know, G here. Then when the cap lock starts blinking, it's gonna let you know that it's now recording. You can enter whatever sort of keystrokes you want, whatever combo you want to record as your macro. Then you press Function and Alt to save that macro, and then Function, Alt, Tab to exit. So then if I hit G, yo. Then lastly, before we move on, they have games on this keyboard. Kind of like a Russian roulette mode and a Minesweeper game. It's built in. I've never seen this before. More so like a gag kind of thing, show it off to your friends, impress them. You're not gonna be playing. There's other games you could be playing, obviously, using your keyboard, not games on your keyboard, but it is built in. All right, so wrapping it all up with pros and cons, let's run through it. First off, it's just a really well-made, nice-looking keyboard. It's sleek and modern at the same time. I've never really seen a frame like this, and it looks just pretty damn good, I think. It's definitely pulled off nicely here. Having onboard RGB lighting control and macro control is definitely a plus, although I'll touch on this in a minute. I love the fact that you have 2 different fold-out feet on the back, which is just so rare for a 60% board like this. USB Type-C adoption is definitely a plus for all devices moving forward. And the fact it's very customizable friendly is just awesome. Now, as for cons, I have like 1.5. The half of one, which is kind of like whatever, is the fact that it is kind of pretty confusing to control all the RGB lighting and customize it. I like having onboard control like that without needing software, but with this, it gets kind of tedious, and it's just kind of, tedious. That's the word for it. You're gonna have to keep resorting to your manual if you wanna really customize it, go through all the modes and stuff like that, so that's kind of annoying. But the only real con for this I could say is the fact that the USB port on the back, something's off with it. My cable kept disconnecting all the time, and as you can see, it's kind of flimsily hanging out there. I did go to Google and I just typed it up real quick, and I saw that other people were having this issue. So hopefully with future versions I can kind of revise that, but that's pretty much all I can complain about. I love the look of the board. It's so nice and simple, and it really gives you that opportunity to customize it and make it your very own, all for just $100. And you look at the competition out there, that's a pretty good price point, I think, for a mechanical kind of 60% keyboard like this with some great built-in features. And guys, that'll wrap it up for my review of the Ducky One 2 Mini RGB Keyboard. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to check it out, I'll drop a link for you in the description down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Well, I'm Random Frank P. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.